He is a longtime member of the journalism profession, if you will, a best-selling author from the New York Times back in the day, and now the senior investigative reporter for ESPN and the host and executive producer of a new ESPN docuseries, Backstory. Don Van Natta back here on the show. How are you, Don?
I'm doing great, Rich. Great to see you.
Let's talk about the backstory here, where it's you get a deep dive. You choose a subject. The first one was Serena and Naomi Osaka from last year, correct? At
Yes.
the U.S. Open. Where did this concept come from, John?
Came from John Dahl, who was the co-creator of the 30 for 30 series.
Right.
And it was his idea to create a docuseries where we would go back into sports history and find scandals, stories, controversies where there's room to run. There's some reporting we can do, bring some fresh perspectives. And I was thrilled when he called me last year and asked if I'd be interested in hosting it and doing the reporting. And we've got 5 episodes in the first season. And the first premiere episode was Serena versus the umpire that aired last month. Carlos Ramos from Portugal and the clash between Serena Williams and Carlos Ramos as she sought her 24th Grand Slam title, tying Margaret Court's record.
Yeah, that was over a year ago now. And I just remember the phone lines on this show during an NFL season, they light for no story that's not NFL.
Right.
Except for that one, because it was just a whole big to-do as to whose fault it was. Was it Serena for going over the edge, over the line? Why was the umpire doing what he did in the first place? What did you learn that you might not have known with the backstory?
That's exactly what we sought out to find out. Who was most at fault for a match that ended in tears? And it was the ugliest finish in Grand Slam history by far. Was it mostly Serena's fault, Carlos Ramos, the umpire's fault, or something else? We determined, Rich, that just about everybody shared the fault. There was equal blame to go around. Serena certainly could have handled the situation better. She's never to this day acknowledged that she received coaching from Patrick Mouratoglou, her coach, during the match, which she was called for. That set off that whole chain of events.
Yeah, because who gets called for that sort of thing?
It almost is never called for, but she insisted that she never gets coaching. And we, Zapruder film-like, went back and actually showed a split screen where Mouratoglou makes the signal for her to move up closer to the baseline. And at that moment, she's looking right at him. And then Mouratoglou nods, like, okay, signal received. And so I asked Mouratoglou about it. I went to Wimbledon, and he gives a very interesting, squirrely answer about that, almost winking as he sort of admits that Serena most likely saw the coaching signal, although he doesn't quite say it.
So what fault does the umpire admit?
Well, the fault of the umpire, Carlos Ramos is a by-the-book stickler for the rules, gold badge umpire with a terrific reputation, but he let the match get out of control. And so we interviewed Chrissy Everett, Pam Shriver, a lot of people in tennis who said there could have been a soft warning, perhaps at least for the coaching violation.
Right.
And then the third code violation, which cost Serena a game as the match was spinning out of control, was for verbal abuse. And there was some thought that Ramos should have swallowed his whistle, let it go. So, when a chair umpire does his job, Rich, he's invisible. And everybody knew Carlos Ramos' name for days after that.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.